What's good, YouTubers and YouTubettes? This is JB Sports, back again with another one. Spence Jr. versus Terrence Bud Crawford saga continues. Better yet, the Spence Jr. versus Terrence Bud Crawford soap opera continues. For all the soap opera fans out there, you know, when you watch soap operas, you know, they come back with the same storyline, the same plot, time and time again. If you watch the soap operas for over a period of time, they have the same storyline, the same plot. Somebody blackmailing somebody in the hospital in a coma. They don't know if they're going to live or die. You know what I'm saying? Somebody cheating on somebody, and they worried about the truth coming out. And the people that they know and love find out about them and look at them in a different light. You know, that type of stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? The same plot, the same storyline. And this is basically what's been going on in Terrence Bud Crawford versus Spence Jr. We always talking about pay-per-view buys. We always talking about purse split. So I find it kind of surprising when everybody was in an uproar out here in these YouTube streets when Terrence Bud Crawford reiterated. And let me say that again, reiterated that if he don't get a 50-50 deal with Spence Jr., he not going to fight him. He not taking 60-40, he not taking 55-45, he not taking 51-49, he not taking 52-48. 50-50 or no fights. So when everybody, including, well, particularly, Terrence Bud Crawford fan was getting excited about Terrence Bud Crawford, a.k.a. the fisherman, out there in the ocean, looking for the big fish, Spence Jr. They was all excited. They was giving him a standing ovation, a round of applause. I did a video right after saying, look, that's great. I'm glad he did it, but it don't change the fact, the one obstacle that's standing in the way of this fight, and that is the purse split, ladies and gentlemen. So we are no closer to this fight than we was previously. You know, I talk about a soap opera. Let's go back to the soap opera of Manny Pacquiao versus Floyd Mayweather. And that soap opera went on for about 6 years. And it's all about purse split and 50-50 and who's the A side, who's the B side. You had Pac fans calling Floyd fans Flomos. You had Floyd fans calling Pac fans Pac-tards. This shit went on for about 6 years. And we going down the same road, the same bumpy road, the same dead-end street. But one thing about Floyd Mayweather and Pacquiao, they eventually fought, and it produced the highest revenue fight in boxing history. But the in-ring fight was not good. It left a lot to be desired. But it did make boxing headline news when they was talking about that fight in the lead-up to that fight. You had ESPN down there on site doing pre-fight shows for Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Manny Pacquiao. You remember that? For that week, man, boxing was like it was back in the day when boxing was the #1 sport. But the in-ring fight, the fight between Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Manny Pacquiao, had a lot of fans pissed. They wanted to see a little bit more of an exciting fight, but they should have known, based on Floyd Mayweather's track record of being a defensive first fighter, that if he had anything to do with it, if he was going to be in a type of fight that he was going to be involved in, it was going to be hit and don't get hit type of fight. He was not going to go head up with Manny Pacquiao. He was not going to bang with Manny Pacquiao, a guy that got power in both hands. So that let you know there was a lot of casual fans excited about that fight. You had a lot of casual fans watching the fight, and a lot of fans that probably hadn't watched Floyd Mayweather fight in the last several years, at least, was watching that fight, and they were upset about how that fight played out. With all that being said, Terrence Bud Crawford and Spence Jr. is no closer to happening than it was before Terrence Bud Crawford did that video out there in that ocean when he was looking for the big fish, Spence Jr. And for people to now, after Terrence Bud Crawford reiterated that he's not taking anything less than 50-50, and a lot of people are upset, in an uproar over that statement. It's like they got amnesia or something. They don't remember that he said that already. He's just reiterating what he said previously. Y'all got amnesia or selective memory or what's going on? Y'all just trying to do videos to get views and, you know, make it look like that Terrence Bud Crawford said something that was different than what he said before. I don't know what it is, man, but I wasn't even tripping when he said it. I already know what time it was. That's why I ain't go crazy over the video he did out there in that ocean. Had everybody excited, thinking we one step closer to Errol Spence Jr., Terrence Bud Crawford. And that can be nothing further from the truth. We still here at square one, ladies and gentlemen. The fight is no closer to happening. Errol Spence Jr. needs to get back in the ring. He needs to spar. He needs to make sure his eye is okay. That's another thing people just overlooking. He's got to start sparring. And once he starts sparring, then he needs to go get the eye rechecked and make sure his eye is okay, ladies and gentlemen. Once he does that, then he can go into negotiations for his next opponent. Now, I heard recently, I think it was yesterday, that he's in the gym. But that don't mean he's sparring. He might be in the gym working out, you know, hitting the heavy bag, you know, doing jump rope and stuff like that. Don't mean he's sparring. So until he gets over that obstacle, then all this other stuff is all for naught. But even with all that being said, once he does spar, once he does get the okay from the eye doctor, the situation between himself and Terrence Bud Crawford is still the same. Terrence Bud Crawford wants 50-50. The pay-per-view numbers did not back up those demands. So he would need Errol Spence Jr. to give him a Christmas Day gift, basically. Give him a big Christmas Day gift and give him 50-50 when he actually don't deserve it when you look at the economics of what both fighters bring to the table. What's good, boy? So we will see what happens and we will see what transpires, but wake me up when some new news that came into the forefront in regards to Errol Spence Jr. versus Terrence Bud Crawford, because this is old news. He just reiterated what he's always said. So until that obstacle is removed, we're going to be doing this song and dance again and again and again, just like in the soap opera. Let me know your thoughts about Errol Spence Jr. versus Terrence Bud Crawford. You think the fight actually happened? If it doesn't happen, who you think will be the likely opponents? I think the likely opponent for Terrence Crawford is Josh Taylor if he gets through with his mandatory title defense against Jack Cottrell that's taking place February 26th. I think Errol Spence Jr., if the IBF don't mandate a fight with Jerome Bruce Ennis, I think he probably takes on maybe Abel Ramos or Jose Cito Lopez. That fight will be on Fox pay-per-view. I think you're looking at those two fights likely for both opponents. Once Errol gets through with that, he'll be looking to then have a big fight against a big-name opponent in the welterweight division. Let me know your thoughts. And hit the like button if you'd like to come to this video. And subscribe to JB Sports, the man, the myth, the legend. And I'll holler.